We got a Michael Jackson biopic in theaters, baby. I saw it last night. Today I'm going to give you my review. Before I dive in, if you would, hit the subscribe button, the bell, and the like button while you're down there. The bell specifically, so you never miss another review of a 2026 movie. But the most important part, at least to me, is going down below, commenting, what are your opinions on the movie if you have seen it? If you have not seen it, are you looking forward to the Michael Jackson movie? Just simply titled Michael. I would love to know all that and more in the comments section. Let's have a really good conversation about this week's big movie release. Going into it, I was skeptical. I liked the trailers a lot, but all of a sudden, once the critic reviews came out, it had like a 27% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a little bit insane to me. But the close people that I watched said that the movie was good, just had a bunch of issues. So I did not know if I would be on the spectrum that would really enjoy it, or didn't like it, or where I would be at with this movie. And what I can say is, I think Michael is fine. It's not great, it's not terrible, but it's just fine. There are plenty of things I love, and plenty of things I'm not the biggest fan of. The best things about this movie is the cast. Jafar Jackson is perfect as Michael Jackson. Obviously, it's his nephew. Jafar Jackson is Michael's nephew. It's really easy when you're playing Michael Jackson to come off as a Michael Jackson impersonator. Because there's, real-life Michael Jackson impersonators. So, it's very easy to feel like, oh, okay, he's just impersonating Michael Jackson. Jafar Jackson melts into the role. He captures all the emotional moments, all of the childhood spirit of Michael, all of the spaz, the electric performances. The performance sequences are awesome. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But, man, is Jafar Jackson good in this movie. Along those same lines, Colman Domingo's in here, and I think he gives his best performance he ever has as Joe Jackson, who is Michael's father. Famously known that Michael had a terrible childhood, same with all his brothers, and it's because of how big of a pile of crap Joe Jackson is. And the performance by Colman Domingo makes you legitimately hate him, while also kind of understanding why he's doing this. It obviously has kind of the pushing him to be the greatest aspect to it, but it's done in such a way that you hate this character because he's just so toxic, so manipulative, and the performance by Colman Domingo genuinely made me scared of him. There's some sequences inside of the movie where we're just having a good time, and all of a sudden he walks in, and you could just feel the screen presence that Domingo has. Fantastic performance by him. And by the time we get to the end of the movie, and we're getting resolved, kind of the defeat of the villain of the movie, which would be Joe Jackson in a way, it's one of the most satisfying endings to a movie that I have seen in probably 5 years. I had the biggest grin on my face during that third act. Now, the final 15 minutes of the movie are phenomenal. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but I do want to keep talking about the cast because we also got people like Miles Teller in here. He doesn't play a huge role, but he is in this movie, and I really like Miles Teller. I really liked him in this movie. It's a Whiplash guy. It's the guy from Whiplash. Kind of ironic because Miles Teller plays a guy trying to be the greatest in his own movie with somebody that pushes him super hard to be the greatest. Now he's just kind of the opposite, telling Michael to get away from that toxic relationship of the guy pushing Michael to be the greatest in this movie. Kind of ironic when you think about it. Whatever, back to the final 15 minutes. Phenomenal. Phenomenal stuff. And it's not like it's like the most potent filmmaking or whatever, but the musical set pieces are awesome. And as someone who's not like a diehard Michael fan, but obviously I like his music, I think it's pretty impossible to dislike his music. I had a good time with all the set pieces. I was nodding my head. I was getting a little groove on in my seat. I was having a good time. And the final 15 minutes as we go on the Victory Tour, one of the greatest concerts of all time at Dodger Stadium, it is awesome. The movie ends with Beat It. Phenomenal stuff. I was levitating in my seat. I saw it in the glorious IMAX, so I felt like I started levitating at certain sequences. The set pieces are awesome, and the final 15 minutes has the payoff as well that just had a big grin on my face. And throughout all the problems with the movie, I had a big grin on my face, and at that certain point, I was having a great time. Left the movie like, why am I a little mixed on this movie again? Because that final 15 minutes was awesome. The final thing in the pro section is this movie does have some good, genuine emotion. It's because, like, not only do we feel for Michael Jackson, because once you sit back and think, this was his real life. As a kid, he had no childhood because he had a father forcing him to do all these things and pushing him too hard. You just feel so bad for him. But Jafar Jackson's performance is really good at just making us feel bad for the character, tearing up at certain sequences. Movie has some good, genuine emotion. So, like I said, a lot of things that I loved about the Michael Jackson movie. But overall, I'm a little mixed on it. I would just go, it's good. Wouldn't say it's great. And the big problem here is the pacing of the film. Michael Jackson is a pop star who is one of the he is the most famous pop star of all time, but one of the most complex and interesting pop stars in the movie. And whether we get something really interesting and we rush over it in the movie, or we get something that is not that interesting and we spend forever on it, this movie chooses to focus on the most boring things. Whether it's Michael getting his hair caught on fire. Yes, that's interesting. But after that, we spend 15 to 20 minutes just watching Michael lay in bed be sad when nothing really happens. We see Michael sitting in the studio just staring at a board for 10 minutes. And it just, it drags at certain moments. And it definitely bored me at times while I was sitting in that theater. Times that I kind of wanted to get up and stretch my legs, if I'm being honest. I wanted to walk outside, just kind of stretch my legs. If I was watching it at home, I probably would have paused it for a minute. But I didn't. I stayed in there. And the movie always found a way to win me back, whether it's the performances, a set piece, anything. But there were times that we focused on the most boring stuff. And when we focus on the interesting things, it kind of is bang, bang, bang to where we can never fully sit and learn anything about Michael's life. Whether it's the early ages where we're with him as a kid and, he's trying to be a kid, but his dad won't let him. We are not really focusing on anything because we go from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s in about 30 minutes of the movie. That's 30 years of Michael's life. Well, maybe not 30 years. I think we start out in 68, get to 88. So about 20 years, I will say. We go through 20 years in a 45-minute span of the film, never fully waiting on anything. And then we focus on the things that that are really kind of boring me and definitely slowed the film down. So the pacing in this film is atrocious. When you hear a reviewer say that it's the most safe Michael Jackson movie, that is true. I love how it focused on Joe Jackson, and I loved that aspect of the film, but it plays it definitely safe. And obviously, there's a little bit of the lawyer situation and his allegations that I'm not going to dive into, because the movie doesn't dive into that. But there's other interesting things about his life that we could have dived into. So overall, the pacing was just really rough. And I never fully connected with it as much as I should have. I never fully sat down, and there was never fully a moment that I was like, this is great. I love this movie. It was always just, okay, I'm enjoying myself a little bit. I never fully connected with this film as much as I should have. And again, that's a big problem with the pacing and the script of the film. So it's a movie that so many things I loved, but it's definitely plays it safe, a little bit predictable, and definitely dragged at times. Before I give you my final score of the Michael Jackson movie, just titled Michael, if you would, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell. And again, what are your opinions on the movie Michael? And if you haven't seen it, are you looking forward to it? Did this review convince you to go see it in theaters or not? And with that said, Michael is carried by some phenomenal performances and great set pieces, but the film definitely drags at times. And personally, I didn't connect with it as much as I feel like I should have. With that said, Michael is going to get a B from me. And I thought about this, where I would tell you to go to watch it at home or go to theaters. I'd say it's worth the trip to the theater. A lot of people are going to love this movie, especially Michael Jackson fans. And especially that final 15 minutes alone convinced me to say, yeah, it's worth checking out in the theater. And if you want to spend an extra buck, IMAX is the best way to view these excellent musical sequences. So, Michael, what did you think about it? Tell me in the comment section below. And with that said, subscribe.